right now. Otherwise, good step-through move. Not bad defense by Stone, but an excellent footwork by Haslam.
He takes a seat. Major Parker back on the floor with Bonner, Dupay, Orion Green, and Brett Nelson for Billy Donovan's team. Kentucky's committed 16 turnovers, the last one an unforced error.
There's that high pick by Bonner at the top that's just going to get in Kentucky trouble as Dupay handles the ball.
Now yet another player control foul, and that's the way it's been called today consistently. I think Saul may have gotten away with a flop here.
Well, there's the penetration, and Parker on the spin move. Good move and a good little floppy
Would you
defense.
say that was a nice flop on
A little Hollywood.
Yes,
little Hollywood there. No drama involved, but it works.
Maybe going to law school, but his dramatic interpretation's pretty good. I think that's what makes him such an intelligent player. He's seen the way the officials have called this game and reacts accordingly.
Recognition, that's what a good point guard will do. As you take a look at this half field goals, Kentucky 10 of 18, Florida 9 of 16.
Stone on the glass, and he's fouled on the way up by Bonner.
Stone, not really the post-up player as Parker is, but has experience, can run the floor extremely well, and if you get him in the right position inside, he can produce for you.
Well, we touched on Lefty Drizel's Georgia State team. They're in. He becomes just the second coach to take 4 different teams to the NCAAs, Winthrop and Eastern Illinois. Winthrop would be a candidate, one might think, for the play-in game played on Tuesday, the 13th of March in Dayton. 2 teams representing 2 conferences will play for the right to be in the field at 64. I believe the Big South, the Northeast Conference, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and the SWAC are candidates for that game. Stone on the glass. Well, they may wave off the basket. It was in the cylinder. Basket interference is the call, according to Curtis Shaw, and Tubby Smith can't believe it.
Well, Tubby thinks it may have been one of the Florida players that touched the net or the rim first. Here's a situation, Prince to the bucket, and here we go. There is Bonner, 10 on the rim first, I do believe.
And Tubby just got teed up.
And he's saying number 15 of Florida is a player that grabbed the rim.
Curtis Shaw, by the way, is known for a quick trigger. He's an outstanding lead official, but John Flaherty is the official that gave Tubby Smith the technical. So when Tubby wanted to talk after John had given the technical, Shaw did listen. But through the years, you begin to know and understand what the personalities of the game are, even with the officiating crew. And Curtis, a highly respected official, but one that many coaches are aware will waste no time in teeing you up.
See, this is what Tubby is saying. There's the grab of the rim by Bonner, pulling it down.
Oh, Smith was right, no doubt about it.
And Stone shortly followed, touching the basket after Bonner did.
Now, the technical came because of the choreography that came after the fact. The magic word or a magic motion by the coach is what got him the technical foul.
Regardless of the call,
right.
There's a great distinction between Tubby Smith and what he had to say after.
Yeah. Stone, a rejection. Bonner stays with it. A jump hook in the paint. Is there anything in his arsenal we have not seen?
We've seen it all today.
Bogans, yes. And a foul.
Boy, he's got the football body, and he went through the lane like he was seeking a hole that time to the basket. But to talk about Bonner, we have seen everything from the jump shot, the drive, the jump hook, the left hand, good defense. He's got it all, a full package, and a nice, big, strong body that's really given Prince all he could handle here this afternoon.
Haslam picks up his 3rd foul, and Bogans at the stripe. The bucket counted, so an old-fashioned 3-point play is what's at stake for Bogans here. 7.5 remaining. 2 proud programs with an SEC title at stake. take a look at our Fidelity Investments keys to success. Three-point shooting we felt would be something to watch, and for Kentucky it hasn't been there, although they may pick up the pace in the second half. You know, James, I get the impression as we watch this game, it is going to come down to the two principals on the sidelines, Billy Donovan and Tubby Smith. I know Rick Pitino's got to be loving this because I think the coaching minds are going to be the big difference here.
I always believe the quality teams, the farther you go in the year, it's always about coaching. You watch the last 5 minutes of this game, you're going to see coaches design and play for their best players to get open. I look for Kentucky to go to Prince, and I guarantee you Billy Donovan's going to drop something for either Haslam or Dupay or Brett Nelson whenever he comes back in the ballgame.
There are just too many special talents on the floor, and so the question always becomes, when you've got that many guys that can beat you, whom do you want to take advantage of? And there are succinct leaders for both of these teams. Prince and Bogans for Kentucky, and for Florida, Nelson, Haslam, Dupay.
But there's so many others that can get the job done. Bonner, we know, can hit the jump hook and score. Even Halton for Florida. And then Fitch for Kentucky. This is so much depth in both teams.
Shot clock winding down.
Very patient.
Bonner set the pick. Haslam on the glass. He is something, isn't he? A true glass eater.
And he's very, very aggressive this afternoon. I haven't seen him as mobile and active as I have throughout the year, but they have no answer for Haslam inside.
Yeah, he was really a non-factor in the game we had with Tennessee last week, a couple of weeks back.
Not a factor. In fact, he left the game a little early.
Yes, he did.
White came in the game.
Prince, floater along the baseline by Tayshaun Prince, and it's 70-61.
That's the thing about Prince. You play him tough, you play him aggressive the whole game, and then you loosen up a little bit, and there he goes, finding his groove. That little pick at the high post by Florida has really been tough for Kentucky.
Prince got into the passing lane there and knocked it away with 15 on the shot clock. A couple of the principals we just mentioned, Brett Nelson for Florida, checking back into the game, along with Bogans for Kentucky as Halton sits down, and Eric Daniels of Kentucky, number 14, sits down, as does Orion Green, number 1 for the Gators.
Good matchup. You talk about Bogan's body. You look at Major Parker's body. He's got a nice little football body himself.
Out of bounds, right off the shoulder of Saul Smith. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Look at calves on Parker's legs. They look like grapefruit down there. This guy's got a body as well. He and Bogans have those unusual basketball bodies. They could be in a football unit.
Well, off the ball, Teddy Dupay really got racked. A little slippage down there, more moisture on the floor. This is a very warm building today. And these two teams have been heating it up since the outset. Teddy off his feet and through the nylon.
When you think he's not going to shoot just off the floor, he kills it.
Inside Fitch and traffic.
Kentucky getting the basket back quickly.
Nelson, a floater, not there. Fitch clears. They have numbers. 4 on 3.
Nice penetration by Saul Smith to the little dish to Prince.
Knowing where your neighbor is.
Absolutely, and they're getting the ball and getting it up quickly before Florida's able to get up and allow Haslam to get in the post and allow Parker to get in there with that stingy defense. Good transition basketball by Kentucky the last 2 possessions.
Haslam. Loose ball. Finally the foul. That will go against Smith, his third.
Well, here's Dupay trying to get open. There's a little slip. There's no contact. It gets right up off of his buns, and with no hesitation, Saul Smith giving him too much airspace and knocks it down.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, Billy Donovan's right about him. He's better when he plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely.
I mean, he wants to play angry. And he brings a lot of joy with his anger.
He does, and that's contagious. You want a guy like that on your team. Not arrogant, but just very, very confident. As we take a look at Bonner's last 4 games, or a guy that can score anywhere on the floor, 15-11 on down.
He's really the player that has made a difference inside, particularly with the loss of Brent Wright. They're on their feet at the O'Connell Center.
He's done a number on Prince as well with his physical defensive presence.
Bogan silences the crowd. 21 for Keith. The lead has consistently been in the 7-point range. It go up to, say, 13 or 14 at times. Kentucky's never been able to pierce that point. Parker takes it to the rack and draws the contact from Stone. That's 2 on Marvin Stone.
And Florida seems to be really running that high post pick, trying to penetrate inside. A very simple offense, and then either dish for a layup or dish for the open jumper. Kentucky needs to either switch that or trap it or stop it at impact, because once they get in the lane, it's hard to defend.
No team shoots better than Florida at the line, but he's by far the worst free throw shooter on the team at 56%. Thursday on Survivor, the tribes finally merge. Now everyone must compete for themselves. Don't miss the most watched show in America, an all-new Survivor Thursday on CBS. Florida as a team shoots better than 70%. In fact, 75%, and no other team in the conference shoots 70% as a team. So that's a real advantage coming down the stretch of many games.
Absolutely. That means that most of the players on the floor are capable of knocking down a free throw, so it makes it very difficult when you're looking to foul someone.
Bogan's too strong. Kept alive for Stone, using the glass.
Another case of being in the right place at the right time, because that was Haslam's rebound. It just trickled out of his hand.
Stone got in the way of that pass by Brett Nelson.
That driving kick, it works every time, and you know what that...
They're on their feet, bringing back memories of Gator Alley.
Florida 79-69. Watch the simple basketball driving kick to Brett Nelson. Watch the great drive by Bonner. Look at Brett Nelson step back. Now that's disciplined basketball. He was in the paint. He stepped outside knowing that the pass was going to come, and Kentucky cannot answer that.
Nelson, who was a non-factor with early foul difficulty, now has 17 between he and Dupay. 8 of 11 from downtown. Bogan off the timeout. Tubby Smith's team off a timeout always gets an outstanding offensive set.
3 picks for Bogans for a layup. Great coaching out of a timeout.
Got it dumped down to Haslam.
Well, they have to get to him, because there's no stopping him once he gets it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't double team.
They have to double him. I mean, you got to get it out of his hands immediately. He's unstoppable today. I can look on his face and see that he wants it down there. And Stone, not strong enough.
Tayshaun Prince. He loves the wing jumper. He's much more efficient along the wing as opposed to up top. 16 in the game for Tayshaun.
Well, here comes the trap and pressure by Kentucky, and Florida will attack.
Smith gets another foul, and he's questioning the shield that Teddy Dupay was using. That's the 4th on Saul.
Saul Smith complaining that he's playing good sound defense, putting the pressure on Dupay, and Dupay using that offhand to clear some space for himself.
He credited Coach Donovan during the course of the year when they were hurt. Dupay was hurt. Of course, so was Brent Wright. Justin Hamilton is out for the year, and he said, you know, the thing that Coach Donovan's done with us is he's allowed some of us, Brett, myself, and a few others, to get out of the game right before the TV timeout so we could get a little extra rest. Billy Donovan has depth now, but this team had to learn to play more minutes, and the coach had to learn on the fly, not being as deep as normal. The crowd appreciates it. Still a title on the line.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. CSFB Direct. Invest online with CSFB Direct. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Tim Brando, James Worthy at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida, as we take a look at our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. And obviously, three-point shooting, a catalyst for the Gators. For complete game coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Dupay and Nelson outside. You know, you could say that Kentucky's inside game, Stone and Parker at times have been able to match Haslam and Bonner, but the difference has been from downtown.
No question about it. And these two players have really complemented each other, particularly after playing 2 years together. Brett Nelson comes back as a point guard. You move Dupay to the shooting guard, driving and taking discipline offense. These two guys are very confident three-point shooters.
And again, a reminder about Jason Parker. He's not in the game because he's a liability at the free throw line. As Haslam gets caught holding, he and Nelson were in position to pick up the foul.
And also,
Actually, it goes against Parker rather than those two. 3 men around him.
Parker also not a good free throw shooter, but also early in the game presses too much to try to score. He gets the double team a lot. Should be an assist guy.
So we could have whistled 3 different players for that foul. Coming up next, Georgetown, Notre Dame, or Missouri at number 11, Kansas. I tell you, I look at the job Mike Gray has done at Notre Dame. They have really been carrying the banner for the Big East at a time when that league has been going through a bit of a transition.
Well, they have Matt Doherty for 1 year. They come in, they have another coach. That's difficult, but they still have Troy Murphy, a great leader for Notre Dame.
That kick would have gone through the uprights at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, I believe. And one of the great fans of Florida football throws it back to them. In a game that has been played at a frenetic pace, it's now a 13-point cushion that's been cut to 7 by the Kentucky Wildcats, 83-76, with 2:26 remaining in our game.
Kentucky is still within range as they're in a full-court press right now. It only takes a couple of steals, a big 3, and 7 points is nothing with 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in the ballgame.
Plenty of timeouts remaining for UK. 1 full timeout, 3 30s that Tubby Smith could utilize. And try to milk the clock for as much as possible to give his team a chance. Gators' perimeter shooting has been the catalyst today. That's been the difference. They have led by as many as 13 in this half, 15 in the first half. They're playing for a shot at a share of the Southeastern Conference Championship. In fact, a victory by them would force a tri-championship. Ole Miss, winners of the SEC Western Division, would tie and would fly it down as well. And Butler hits another tray.